I'll explain in a bit if we can though. Here we are, right outside the nuclear power plant, which is here behind me. You can see the sarcophagus. Now, with our guide, we're about to go inside the nuclear power plant. We'll be given special suits for the visit, and obviously we can only stay for a few minutes inside these places. In particular, because we were also given a special dosimeter. Here we are, all geared up. Now we're ready to go and explore the power plant. Now, after signing more documents before entering, we're heading to the first control room. The Geiger counters now are moving towards the control rooms, and the readings are going up a lot. Now we've changed our masks and also put on gloves. The scenery here has already changed a lot compared to the first part. The walls are completely peeling away. You can really get a strong sense of what happened here. This is the reactor's control room 4, and it's where, basically, in just 7 seconds after the AZ5 button was pressed, the world changed, and this is what's left today. There's something I've never shown you from my trip to Chernobyl. What I would have liked to show you during my trip to Chernobyl is definitely what's underneath. The Pripyat hospital, one of the most radioactive places in the entire world. Because there, on the ground floor, which has since been buried, you can find all the original suits of the firefighters who responded on the night of the disaster, April 26, 1986. As you can imagine, we simply couldn't be here doing this kind of exploration, but I really wanted to take a moment to tell you about what's actually under the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. In fact, I wasn't able to get the necessary permits when I was there. During my trip to Chernobyl, I visited the power plant itself, and I showed you the reactor. I visited Reactor 3 and Reactor 4, including their control rooms, but unfortunately I was not able to obtain the required permit that would have allowed me to explain in detail what is located beneath the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Maybe some of you already know about it, but the real monster of Chernobyl, after all these years, is actually still lurking under the nuclear power plant, and it's still very much alive. Let's talk about the elephant set. Gentlemen, welcome back to Chernobyl. Here is the control room. It's in very bad condition, but bam! Well, the Pripyat hospital, as you might already know, can't be visited, just as this obviously isn't the most radioactive or hot part of Chernobyl, because this is a decommissioned nuclear power plant. But what I really wanted to show you today in this video is what's actually under Chernobyl, because the Pripyat hospital was closed to the public due to the extremely high and dangerous radiation levels. The firefighters' uniforms were all in the basement, and so in the end it was closed. And it's not visitable anymore, and it never will be. Meanwhile, underneath the power plant and under the exploded reactor 4, there's all that extremely radioactive material. An absolutely incredible and truly enormous mass, which is actually the result of the catastrophic explosion mixed together with everything that was violently thrown on top of it during the very early stages of the fire in an attempt to put it out. All of this combined generated an incredibly dangerous and highly radioactive magma, which even today is still located under the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. This entire formation is called the elephant's foot because it eventually took on the distinctive shape of an elephant's foot. And these images I'm leaving you with are of the most radioactive point in the entire world. I'm not someone who wanted to sensationalize Chernobyl from this point of view. I've made many videos where I've talked about it, and where In reality, what's really in Chernobyl and the exclusion zone is something completely different, more toned down, compared to the idea we all have of Chernobyl. But what's underneath is something that's truly scary. It's a completely exclusive video. Because consider that it has been scientifically and thoroughly proven that remaining or staying in that particular place or location for a prolonged period of time, specifically for 30 seconds at most, would absolutely and inevitably cause the individual's death. This is because the dose of radiation one is exposed to in this environment is truly insane. This here is all radioactive water. Obviously, I don't know if I'll be able to take you back to Chernobyl. What is certain, however, is that I've already made arrangements to return to Ukraine and tell you what's happening there. So stay tuned, but most importantly, subscribe to the channel here so you don't miss any future updates. For this Chernobyl anniversary, I decided to leave you with this additional contribution. There would truly be so much more to tell you, but our time here has absolutely run out. So now it's time to run.